Hello, me lovelies. Well, as you see, I'm being Jingle Jangle Jim Smith today. Yes, Jingle Jangle, who, here we are, I'll play it in a minute, who promised to do an acro. Well, he said he wanted to do an acro challenge with me and keeps on sort of avoiding it now for some strange reason. Are you Susan? Are you James? Are you Kelsey? Are you GT? So here we go for my beautiful, beautiful moderator. So I'm just waiting for Cookie to come along because he's being fashionably late again. So we just have to wait. So shall I talk about Jingle Jangle, creepy ass? Right. Here we go. Just to prove a point, and I'm not going to let this one go. I'm not letting it go until he actually does it. Let's see, where is it? Here we go. Just listen to this.
So I'll do an acro with Terry Tackle.
There we go. I'll play that again.
So I'll do an acro with Terry Tackle.
Oh, let's shoot. Third time, Lucky.
So I'll do an acro with Terry Tackle.
Still waiting. Still waiting. But he doesn't, for some reason, want to do a Clare's Law or the Sayers Law for some strange reason.
Terry Tackle's asking me for a Sayers Law and a Clare's Law. That's just taking the piss out of two people that died.
No, it isn't. It's actually safeguarding that other people don't die. That's what it is. So there we go. But I think he thinks I'm going to forget about it. I'm not. He said he'll do it, and he hasn't delivered the goods, and it's got no intention of delivering the goods because I know damn well I can work out he's got something he's trying to hide. Something there he's trying to hide. So don't know what's happened with Cookie. Let's see if he's on Facebook. I'm still here, my lovelies. I'm just checking. Here we are. Excuse me. So anyway, how's everyone doing? Anyone want to ask any questions or anything in the chat to fill the time? So he's there, he's trying to log on. So it's most of some technical issue going on. Are you Ashley? Are you Rach? Oh, I need to check. You've just reminded me something. I need to check something. Instagram. Let's see. Let's say. No, it's just checking the sent thing, yo, Rach. I sent Scaredy Boy message, but I can never work out what response I'm going to get from him. Either he'll be all happy and nice like this, or either he'll be cold and off-putting as a witch's tit. So, you know, I never know what response I'm going to get from Craig. And so I'm getting the cold as a witch's tit response at the moment. Well, the topic is whatever. Well, if Cookie comes on, I don't know what the topic's going to be. He says he's trying to get on. Yeah, that'd be fine. Ashley. Oh, you're on the train back. What were you doing in Liverpool? He's just no. What he does, he reads the message, then he just blanks it, and you never get a reply. And so it's like, can you be asked trying to get a reply from him? Tell you what, Susan, get rid of that, or you're getting blocked, right? Because you're up to no good, aren't you? Actually, I'll just get rid of you. Spoiled that one for yourself, didn't you? No messing about, as everyone knows, don't they? Kelsey, no messing about on Anne's live. I'll block you as quick as I can blink if you play about. Oh, I see, Rach. I see. I see what you're saying. I see. Christ, you're taking a long time, Cookie, aren't you? You can't be still trying to log on. You're coming back in it. What's the CPLE? What's that? Don't know what that is, Rach. Well, email, I'll send it to you again, Cookie, through your Facebook. And if you can't get in that way, I'll put it in the live for you. So try it once more. See it once more. If this doesn't work, tell me and I'll put it in the live for you. I know Google was saying something. Google was saying something about this. I saw a message for 2 days. Something's been playing up. Google and StreamYard are terrible. That's why I'd never I'd never sign up for StreamYard, because there's always times when it's playing up. Yeah, I'll meet up for you for a coffee. Definitely. So just send to me. If you can't get on there, I'll put it in the live. But StreamYard, know before you buy people, it can be a pain in the backside. It's not StreamYard that's the pain, it's Google. Google plays havoc with it at times. Got a little troll on here. Got a little troll. So you're not having any luck with that either, Cookie? Just come into the live chat, Cookie. Let me know you're here and I'll put it out there, because it's not working, isn't it? Because it can do that with Instagram as well. Instagram's the worst. You send a link to StreamYard to Instagram, 9 times out of 10, the person can't get on. But come into the live chat and let me know, Cookie. So, scratch it. Here we are. Let's play this again. Here we are. This will be interesting. Let's play this again.
So I'll do an acro with Terry Tackle. Terry Tackle's asking me for a Sarah's law and a Claire's law. That's just taking the piss out of two people that died.
Kelsey, do us a favour. Look out for that Susan crashing one, and anytime she appears, immediately block her. Somehow she's getting through the blocking, but block her every time. It might be a he, but Rach, not Rach, Kelsey, sorry, Rach. Kelsey, if you see that Susan crashing again, just block it automatically, no matter what she's saying. It's a troll. So I don't think this is going to happen. Are you there, Cookie, or what are you doing? Come on, you come into the live chat. Stop arsing about in Facebook. Come into the live chat if you can't get on. And I'll put it into the live chat for you. Here, I'll type in case now. Come into the live chat. Because the show will be out before the bleeding gets on. Don't think this is happening to you. Something's going on. Now, I'm not even getting seeing the message on Facebook now, so I don't know what's going on. I think this might be a dead live, people. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Yeah, I think this is going to be a no-shower. Because I'm not even getting it. No way you know in Facebook if someone sees your message, it's just not even been seen. What do I think about free speech? Depends what people are saying. I don't believe in unbridled free speech where you can say whatever you want. I think that can be dangerous. But I don't believe in all the censorship that's going on at the moment. Now, I don't think this is going to happen, people, because I've just sent a message through to Facebook and suddenly he's not on Facebook now. So I don't think this is going to be a showtime. Somehow I don't think it is. Here we are. Now, about time, Cookie. Bleed Nell. Take all day, like. Here we are. Try to get on now on this. How you, Jane? Do you want to come on, Bobby, as well? Because Cookie's doing his fashionably like bleeding thing, isn't he? Here we are. Here he is. Here we are. Show your face, Cookie. Show your mush. Give us a fright. Can you show your face, Cooks? Here we are. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Let's see, Cookie. Oh, your camera's really bad, isn't it? Here we are. Yeah. Your camera's really bad. Oh, have you got a bad connection?
I don't know what it is, but
I can hear you great. Thankfully, can hear you.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Aye. I don't know what's going on, but it's not letting us airdrop now into my laptop and all that. And it's not letting us log into StreamYard on my phone, making us create a new Google account and everything.
Oh, it can be a pain. What it is, StreamYard, when it was setting up the live, it was warning there's problems with Google again. Google, it's not StreamYard that's their fault, it's Google. It keeps on messing up the system now and again. It's terrible for some reason. But I usually find if I put it in the live chat, people can get on.
Wait then. I'll just get a chair 1 sec.
Okay. To keep people entertained, I'll just play this.
So I'll do an acro with Terry Tuckle. So I'll do an acro with Terry Tuckle. So I'll do an acro with Terry Tuckle.
Liar, he never did. He never did. And he's got no intention of doing it because he's got something to hide. He's got something to hide. So anyway, do you want to pop on, Bobby? The link is there. So, what do you want to talk about today, Cookie?
Oh, I talk about anything, me. Anything you want.
How about the reproduction and the mothering skills of the Amazonian petal tree frog?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you did say anything.
I don't know much about that subject. I've got to be.
You said anything we could talk about, and I'm very interested in the Amazonian petal frog, tree frog. I think most people are.
Has it got a cure for cancer?
No. Why you? That's a bit morbid, isn't it? Good God. Bloody hell, that was a bit.
No, well, that's what these tree frogs and all that they give away stuff that cures diseases and stuff and all that, in it.
Suppose they do, yeah. Don't know. Never able. Dimitri's in with the wants to know this. Oh God, have you read all the kickoff, Cookie? Have you read the kickoff?
No. Loads of kickoff.
It's just, I mean, I wish I didn't have this effect on men, but they just go absolutely wild over me. They go crazy over me. Well, you know, Dimitri wants to get with me. JDP wants to get with me. And I found out the other day, I went to this fighting event. Because they wanted someone, you know, with a name on YouTube to be there. So I went along, you know, so they could have some publicity. And Smoking Sheriff was there. And Smoking Sheriff thought, oh, I'm in with a chance here. He wanted a bit of him, you know, the Anne experience. So well, we didn't know, did we? Danny Christie was standing behind us when Sheriff was coming on to me. Well, there was a big kickoff, wasn't he? Danny let it know. Danny let it be known that he was first in the line if anyone was going to get a taste of the Anne train to heaven. So that's all what's been kicking off. So it's been absolutely crazy, darling. Absolutely crazy. There's someone called. Who are you, David? I haven't got a clue who you are. And I can't see you.
There's people clicking on the link.
Yeah, and you have to be careful, you know. Are you Mandy, darling? And I feel horrible doing that because it might be okay, but you know, if you don't know them, and I've had that horrible fella on last time, didn't I, Paul? Well, I think that was the porn bomber. I think that was the Mousy. Eek.
Oh, right. I remember you mentioning him in a post.
Hey, it's a she. Well, I'd say it's a she.
Oh.
Yeah, I say it's a she. Yeah, it is a Jingle Jangle Jim Smith's avatar because I'm pulling him up, Big Billy. Big Billy, I'm pulling him up and I'm putting it right in his face. He agreed to do this ages ago. Been going on about him for ages. And he actually said this after months of it never being mentioned. He said this.
So how do an acro with Terry Tuckle?
I'll play that again in case people didn't quite hear it. It's very quick, isn't it?
So how do an acro with Terry Tuckle?
And he's wanting to forget now that he ever said that. And I'm not letting him forget. Because I can work out, don't know for sure, but I can work out damn well that he's got something that he doesn't want getting out.
Mm-hmm.
This is it.
Well,
This
acros
is it.
and what have you, and that. I know for me, because everything's there for me. Like, I could take an acro, no bother.
Well, this is it. I could. I mean, it's all kinds of rumours. I've got this on mine and I've got that on mine. I haven't. And I've got NFAs on mine. I haven't. So, you know, but
I've got NFAs for crap on out like that.
Oh, here we are. Crafty Cow is sympathising with me. Poran, all this unwanted attention. You stay pure, Ran. Oh, I can't begin to tell you, Crafty Cow. I can't begin to tell you. It's just like people say to me, you know, they do cooking. They think my life is easy and it's so privileged because I'm so good looking, and because I give out all that allure. That's the word, allure. I absolutely vomit out allure. I do, and you know, they think that makes life easy. It doesn't, darlings. It can be a real trial sometimes. You know, just getting through the door, getting out. I mean, I'd love to be able to go to Tesco's. I'll not have men drooling after me, you know, making passes at me. But I have to accept it. That's my life. That's what I have to put up with. That's what God has deemed necessary for me. So anyways, Cookie. That's enough about me. I mean, who wants to talk about me all the time, even though I am fascinating and gorgeous? So, what's been happening? There we are. What I'm going to go, not much. Go on. What's been happening with you this week?
I've been out and about a bit, you know. I've done a video and stuff and that, but I haven't like posted on out. So I've been studying in front of the computer. Been learning the AI stuff and all that. Been canny.
Oh, so it's actually been studying. Well, that's exciting, isn't it, people? That's a bit of a scandal to cause a lot of drama, isn't it? Couldn't you give some juicy drama or something like it? Oh, give some drama.
My life's dead boring. I don't get up and out these days, man.
I know. Well, that's it.
The most exciting thing that happens to me is I probably gone out for a walk and listen to my audio book on my headphones.
Oh, what book are you listening to?
I'm listening to David Gemmell at the minute.
Oh, never heard of that. Never heard
David Gemmell. What's it called? I forgot the name of it, but it's a good one in any case. It's the first one in a trilogy. I read them when I was in prison, all the Gemmell books. Loved them all.
Tell you what, I'll try to get up on here. People, you've got to watch this. I watched this yesterday, and it's an old. They thought it was lost forever, but someone refound it. Just let's get onto YouTube, and you've got to watch it, people. It's weird. I'd never heard of it before. It was a series, a short series that was on BBC Two in 1968. It didn't last long, but it was considered that frightening. It was different stories each week. No bit like the Twilight Zone, but it was considered that scary that they just got rid of all copies of this show. But someone found an old, really rough VHS version where someone who had one of the first VHS machines actually recorded it, and they managed to clean it up and everything. But just let's get it. You've got to watch this, people, if you've got half an hour, because honest to God, it is. It's. Let's put it this way. It's strange. It's very, very strange. I'll just get the thing up because I don't want to play any of it in case I get a strike. But Here we are, so you can see it. Now I can't get off, fricas. I can't get out of it now. Wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, God. Oh, wait, I see. I won't be able to do it like that. Here we are. I'll just, I'll type it in the chat, and people, you'll have to watch it. It is. Actually, I'll put the link in. This is so bizarre, this show. It's only half an hour long. The 25 minutes actually long. And cool. I just watched it last night because I was bored, and I thought, oh, I'll watch that. That looks good. And oh, it's weird. I'll put the link there. It's called The Corpse Can't Play. That's what it's called. The Corpse Can't Play. Late night horror. And apart these shows, I say 1968, there was only a few of them. And they were considered that disturbing and scary that they just got rid of them, the BBC. But they found that's the only one that survived that they've been able to get hold of. It's weird. And especially when you think at the time that it was done, 1968, I can understand why people thought it was way, way too strong for those days. I mean, nowadays, to us, it doesn't seem horrifying, but back then, but it's just a strange story. It is very weird. Are you nice, Queen? So that's one to look out for. You still there, Cookie?
I'm still here. Aye.
Oh, great stuff. So, yeah, so that's one good one to look out for. And so, go on, just talk about anyone in the chat want to talk about anything. Any questions or anything like that? And not about people who fancy me, because it will take all year to do that. How's your doggies? How's your doggy do's doing? Your little doggies?
Oh, they're all right. They're all right. They're a bit hard work taken out, but
they will be, because a couple of them are big ones, aren't they?
Aye. The hard when they see all that dogs, they jump a lot.
Ashley's got a question for you. What do you think about freedom of speech?
I didn't think I think it exists for certain people, but not for others. I think for a lot of other people, it doesn't exist in this country for them properly. Especially when it comes to myself. The stuff I'm restricted and I can't talk about and stuff and all that I've been told that if I do, I'll get into trouble. But yeah, I think free speech is under attack by a lot of reasons.
I think what is, Cookie, the way I look upon it, right, you need some regulation on not so much what people say, but how they say it. You need regulation on that. But it's gone way, way too far. But people think that it's the establishment that's stopping free speech. In some areas, you can't see the establishment doing it. But in other areas, it's actually social media, people on social media doing it. If they don't like what they hear, they kick off. And that's say there's a way to say something. And you can always tell the difference between someone who's expressing a view or a point of view and someone that is just trying to cause as much offense and hate as they can. Now, you can say, well, people can cause as much offense and hate as they want to, but they have to face the consequences of doing that as well. But it can be used. Go on.
But you've got people in prison right now who like have made tweets and stuff like that, said stuff on social media, and they're in prison right now for it. And the anger in that line of thought was like true. Maybe they're not expressed themselves in the right way, but everything else was true. And then you've got, I mean, it's just so disgusting that this government is anybody who criticizes it is getting targeted. And
this is the problem. Well, we know now, I mean, without talking about it, we know what now we were lied to. And I
Oh,
knew,
yes, that's right.
Cookie, I knew without talking about the incident itself, but I knew that we were being lied to because on the day that it happened, before it got it on the news and and not long before it got on the news and it circulated, someone got in contact with me and said, "You wouldn't believe what's just happened," and they described the scene, and people haven't been told what that scene looked at like. It was horrific,
Oh,
horrific. Anyway,
oh,
the people were being recorded in shock who had seen it. And it's what
aye.
they said, and I'm not going to say it, but it's what they said. They heard him
Mhm.
shouting out. I was in no
Aye.
doubt. He was
Mhm.
shouting out a certain phrase when he was doing that. And so when I heard all this, oh no, we was a
Yeah.
Christian boy from
Mhm.
Wales and all this, I thought this is all cack. And then they came down on everyone. Well, the problem
And
is,
it was totally misleading.
well, it was
I
just
mean, people express themselves. I mean, they express themselves in a way that we normally wouldn't when such a horrific thing has happened in the country and stuff and what have you. And that, you know, it's
what is this?
certainly shouldn't be sent to jail for it. Like,
no, you shouldn't be. It shouldn't be sent for jail. Look, there's a difference between people rioting, which I agree. Those Southport riots were disgraceful. That wasn't about. That was not a demonstration. Though some, it may have started off with some people as a genuine demonstration, but when it turned into what it did, you could tell that was just people out there having fun. So they deserved to go to prison. Those people who were being violent like that, they deserved it. But people, saying things on, social media, just ban the social media or have a word with them. But there was like no get out clause. No one could say, okay, I'm sorry. And that's what was scary about it, because you're going into 1984 territory when that happens. When you start getting, and that's why I'll say straight down, I will never, ever, ever, as long as I live, and I was brought up to be Labour, I will never, as long as I live, vote Labour again, because they are scary. This is one
they are
scary
very scared.
government, very scary and very, very dangerous. And I think they're going to lead us into absolutely chaos. And you've got racists like Dawn Butler, who are allowed to spout the racism against white people and against other black people. It's just like, what's going on here? What's going on? It's getting ridiculous. But yeah, but when they say about freedom of speech having hands, it depends. I say white person saying, look, you get this. Let's talk about the one that everyone talks about, the transgender and all this business, and whether a trans woman is a woman and a trans man is a man. If someone wants to say no, and if they want to say they don't believe in people being non-binary, that's up to them. Say it. I can't see why they think bullying someone by threatening them with legal action because they say, I don't believe that someone can change the sex. I can't see why bullying them is going to make them change their mind, because it's bullying them with the law saying, no, you will think this way or else you're in trouble. But it's different if someone's going out saying that you should harm.
I mean, it is a lot easier to define the word transphobia. That's a word that clearly exists. The meaning of it goes on within society and stuff and that. But to be able to disagree, to be able to disagree freely with that way of life, if people want to do it, they should be allowed to do it.
Well, this you see,
as long as they're not being nasty about it and starting the hate speech and being transphobic and stuff like that, you're allowed to have a different opinion. But
what it is I say it's the way people put across. Someone like, let's say Shan Davis, when she goes on, she's saying it for a reason. She's saying that women are being more or less in the sporting world being put at you can't deny a disadvantage, a real disadvantage. You can understand that someone like Kelly J, whatever the name is, Posey Parker, she comes across, she does say things at times that are out and out transphobic. So there's a difference, but should she be prosecuted for saying those things? No, she shouldn't, because she's not saying it in a way. She can come out with hate, but it's just that's a view. But this is what I say about the freedom of speech. Once you start legislating against freedom of speech, you've got to be very careful, because now we're getting the Islamophobia, aren't we, thing, which is basically, it's nothing more than a blasphemy law. So why don't we have a Christianophobia law? Why don't we have a Buddhistophobia law? Why don't we have a Hinduophobia law? No, we just have an Islamophobia law. It's absolutely ridiculous, it is.
Oh, I don't think it's going to come in. We've not heard out about that since, have we? Really?
Oh, well, I wouldn't put it past them, Cookie. I wouldn't put it past them. They'll get that in here, because you're talking about theology. It's not a religion; it's a theology. Islam, because not every Muslim is into is an extremist, whatever. They're
Yes,
not.
that's
Most
right.
Muslims are peaceful people. Yeah. So you've got that, because I make a distinction when I'm talking about Muslims and Islamists. I make a big distinction. I don't. I'm very careful how I'm saying it. The problem comes from the Islamists, not the Muslims. Now, when you get something like that coming in, you're talking about there's parts of that is you could see as being homophobic. You could see as being sexist, but you're not going to be able to challenge that or question it or debate it, because you could be accused of Islamophobia. It's a ridiculous situation.
But yet, them views, as long as them views, it seems, are coming from a certain cultural background, they seem to be acceptable.
Yeah,
and allowed to be go unchallenged.
Well, let's put it this way, Cookie. Do you remember the demonstrations that were outside the schools over them teaching LGBTQI issues to kids? And it was Muslims who were demonstrating outside these schools. If that had been a load of Christians, they would have been arrested for a hate crime. Make no doubt about it, they would have been arrested.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely, 100%. And so it's like, why is one side? There's something strange going on. I don't know whether there's money coming into the Labour. Well, actually, it was the Tories that were in then, but it's the money coming here somewhere. And I just was asked, what do I think of Jane? Asked me what to think of the Tory leader, new Tory leader. I don't like any of them, Jane. I don't trust any politicians. Yeah, I don't. I think what it is.
No, well, I think we're just going to get more of the same crap that were from the.
Look, like people forget
from Kemi, even with that Jenrick. Was it Robert Jenrick who was the other one? I think he was a little bit more reformed, but I just think
what it is,
you just get nothing but lies.
Here we are, Cookie. She talks the talk, right? She talks the talk, but it's when they're in power. Because let's remember, you can't dump all this. Got to be realistic. You can't dump all this mess on Labour. Don't forget, the Tories were in for 14 years and they created a lot of this. Don't forget, just think about those demonstrations. Wait a minute, Cookie, let's finish this. The demonstrations outside the school, that would happen under Tory government. The Tories were just as bad at silencing people. Okay, not as bad as, that's wrong, they're not as bad as the Labour. But all this mess over migration, all this mess over freedom of speech, that was all happening under the Tory rule. So I don't believe for 1 minute she's going to make everything right. I don't. I think she's just speaking the speak at the moment. But it's when they get in power, that's when you find the.
I think they put her. I think they put her in power because simply because of our politics, right? Knowing that it's going to split the party even more.
I think what it is, the Tories are going for this. The Tories are going for this. The Tories are going for this line that they're anti-woke, but they take it to. You just have to see how far to go with it, because you had, them doing it beforehand.
Mhm.
And it just didn't ring to it, rang a desperation. Or what we'll do, we'll say that we're not woke and all this. And the Tories always do this as well. They go for the lowest denomination, they go for the low hanging fruit. They always do. It's sad. The unemployed or LGBTQI people or disabled people, they always go for low hanging fruit. So that's why I never trust them. I think they just talk the talk, but they never actually see it through. They never see it through.
Well, it's because the way I see things with the Tories, right, is that they've been infiltrated by a load of centre lefties, right, who do hold some conservative values, but the majority of the values that they hold are the left, you know.
I
And I think this big split in the Tory party that's been going on for a while, and reform have had a huge impact, especially on the Tories, within the Tories in that party. It's split them even more, this new leadership contest, because they've not let Robert Jenrick in, who was calling for talking more about immigration and stuff like that.
You see,
but I think ultimately reform in the Conservatives will probably end up joining together and cleaning house.
But Cookie, right, let's get this straight, right? They go talking about migration. What did the Tories do about migration when they were in? Nothing. Absolutely zero zilch until the last minute they tried to do something and it was way, way too late. They actually got themselves out of power. That's what they did. They handed it over to Labour.
The Tories were half all right, because
they weren't.
They would have, for employers, they were, because they allow legal migration to come in where you can pay 30% less to that legal migrant, right?
Yeah.
But since the Labour have come in, right, rather than abolish that 30% and make them pay the same as they would a UK citizen, they're charging more national insurance for employers. So they want their bit of that 30%, the Labour government. You know, it's terrible, man, what they're doing. It really is.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
But this is it. It's one of those things you just have to let things, go as they are. But there's definitely, what's really getting annoying is this, like Dawn Butler with her, and it is black supremacy. That's what she's talking. And it's like, how the hell is this allowed to go on in Labour, that people are talking like that? She should be excluded from the party. She really is a black supremacist. Now, you tell me, if a white supremacist is bad, why is black? And this is the thing, right? It's really golden as well to see someone who's on over 90,000 a year, an MP, standing up in Parliament and going on about this country being racist and white supremacist and all that. How did you get there, love? How did you get there? And that's the question. How did you get there? And it's all like, no, the slavery, we were brought over, our ancestors were brought over as slaves and all this. Well, guess what? You wouldn't be standing in Parliament now if your ancestors weren't brought over as slaves. So should we wind it back and we will not bring your ancestors here? Then you'd never be in the position you're on now. It's just getting comical, it is. It's not getting comical, it's just getting stupid.
Oh, it's getting stupid. It's because the politics are right bang on for them at the minute. So I think that's why they've turned up the pressure, especially within the Commonwealth, wanting, is it 300 billion they're wanting?
Yeah, well, they're not going to get it, hopefully. Look, you can't, if we all went on about the past, and this were to say, did they think during the Industrial Revolution that it was all happy and wonderful for white people? No, it wasn't. White people were treated basically as slaves, had to work all hours.
That's right.
For the pittance. Dangerous conditions. Actually, you would have been more taken care of if you were a slave, because they had to buy the slaves. They had to pay a price to have a slave. And then after paying all that money, they didn't want to, make sure that they couldn't put that slave to work. But with the white working classes, You were just treated like scum. That's it. You were disposed of.
That's right.
They forget that. It wasn't a who's. I'd say to everyone, if ever you want to find out what it was like during the Industrial Revolution, go out and find a book by Elizabeth Gaskell. Remember this. Elizabeth Gaskell's Mary Barton. Now, they tried to ban that, the government at the time. It was written in the Victorian era. Because this lady, and she was a lady, Elizabeth Gaskell, amazing woman, she was the first person ever to write down in a novel the Manchester dialect, for one. We wouldn't know what Manchester people actually spoke like only for her because she wrote the dialect down. But she tells you the grind and poverty and the conditions they had to put up with and how they were abused by the employers. It was horrendous. And you see Dickens as well. Dickens goes into it. It wasn't all rosy. So why don't we go, oh, wait a minute, I want repatriation.
Freezing cold, squalid conditions.
Yes. So it wasn't, but apparently terrible. The only people that suffered were black people. That's not true. That's not true
at all.
It wasn't right what happened to black people, but you can't go saying now someone I say on 90 grand a year in a privileged role, so and dressed to the nines, well looked after, well fed, obviously bleeding well fed. You can't then turn around and start crying that somehow you're a victim.
Well, I thought that by opening our borders and allowing people to come to our country from, and settle and earn money in that, that was our way of giving back to the world for maybe things that were done wrong in the past, but we elevated the world. Our country elevated the whole world. All the technology that they've got in all these other countries, it's all come from the Western world, and a lot of it's come from Britain.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of bad that Britain did, and there was a lot of good that Britain did. You can't get away with it. There was bad and good, and the good doesn't outdo or doesn't outweigh the bad. Let's put it that way. So you've got to acknowledge the fact and got to look at the fact that things happen. But I'm sorry, I don't know how 300 years on someone's ancestor can suddenly start demanding money over that, or some country. What if we turn around and said, okay, then we'll give you repatriations, but we're going to take everything that we gave you back again. And you're not going to have it. And here we go, we'll get plane tickets because you're so pissed off that your ancestors were brought here. Well, obviously, you want. If I was so annoyed, right, that my ancestors eventually arrived in England from Italy or from Ireland, if I was so messed up with that, I'd say, well, which country am I going to go back to then? Why would I stay in a country that has sort of been forced to be here because my ancestors were? It's like, it's nonsense. But no one would stand up and say, well, here we go. We'll give you repatriation. Say it's a plane ticket. Go back and then, then you can feel a home with your ancestors, which you're going on about all the time. But no, you can't say that. But it's true. That's the logical conclusion. If I was so peed off by my ancestors coming to this country and felt wronged and abused and all that, I'd say, well, here we are. I'm going to go back to one of those countries.
So would I.
That's what
so would I.
But no. Because because they know damn well they won't be treated as well as they are in this country.
Aye.
And that's right. The truth about it. That's the basic truth about it. But I'm getting really fed up with this. We had all this. I mean, in the 80s, you had to challenge the status quo because there was a lot of racism. There was a lot of institutional racism. And yet you can see racism now. But I'm sorry, there isn't the institutional racism anymore. There isn't. When you've had a Brown Prime Minister, no. When the Scottish First Minister was Brown, no. When you've got black people represented in the highest offices in the land, no. I'm not buying it anymore that this is, and I'm not going to go on a guilt trip just because I happen to be born white.
That's right. That's it. We've got to be strong on these issues, but we've got to be firm and fair with it all, because we didn't want to sink to their levels because a lot of them really are racist, and you see them
Oh, very racist
on mainstream media now, on the daytime talk shows and stuff like that. And oh my God,
I know.
And Politics Live on the BBC, and they've absolutely destroyed Newsnight.
Well, the thing is that eventually, see, this is division that's being caused, and this is why people say this melting pot of diversity was always a lie. It was never going to work. If they wanted this, people, I say, like Dawn Butler, would be working for homogeneity to bring us all together. She's not. She's speaking in a divisive way. If someone stand up and say, "I am the chosen one" because she's black, and basically saying by that white people and brown people as well we're all scum and we're not, because guess what? The first humans allegedly were black skinned, which actually people are saying now that might not be true. It might be that actually modern day humans evolved in Europe, but migrated to Africa, then migrated out of Africa again. So, but she's taking it that, oh, I'm the superior race. That's exactly the argument that white supremacists used to use when they used to use the Bible, because the Bible turned around and said that Adam blushed. They said, well, if he blushed, he must have been white, if he could be seen blushing. So they used to use that and say, well, the supreme, we are the first race, because in the Bible it says that Adam blushed, so he was white. So she's using that argument, but saying because the general theory is that the first humans were black-skinned, that means that they're the superior race above everyone else. Why are you even talking about superior races?
That's right. And it's absolutely disgusting, because they're doing these kinds of people and they're coming on mainstream media and sprouting all this stuff, right? They're doing a lot of damage to race relations in this country when people are saying that sort of thing, and then that sort of rhetoric is then coupled with like bad things that have been happening on the streets, with people getting murdered and pushed in front of trains and also trying to hit each other with machetes, and a bloke got stabbed in the neck, and bled to death in front of him, pushing his burn away in the buggy. It can start to like make you think, for a white man and a white woman, that is, that if you look behind you and you're standing in the train station and you see someone of a different colour, that you might judge them wrongly by the basis on their colour, that they're going to push you in front of the train.
No,
because you see all these violent acts going on in front of you, or if somebody's hassling us, if I say anything to them, they might turn on and stab us.
Yeah, that's right.
I might make that judgment wrongly.
Hey, well, wait a minute, Cookie. I know what you're saying. But you've got to. I mean, that is. Let's put it this way: if you're walking past a load, we've got to acknowledge this. If you're walking past a gang of white lads, it can be just as intimidating. And so that's you have to get in perspective. It's not so much that, and the amount of people that are committing the crimes are small. Thankfully, those type of crimes, they're very small in number. Still unacceptable, very unacceptable. It's small, but I know what you're saying. It can make people uneasy, but what they've got to do is, as to say, this people.
Well, the media's got a responsibility having that.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Cookie. The thing is that people like Dawn Butler and all them that are doing this, and Labour in a way, with bringing out laws and putting people in jail, the Coulson division. They, of course, look, Nelson Mandela could have gone, when she took power, he could have gone in there and been a right tyrant and said, right, I'm going to get revenge for what happened to me at the hands of these whites and all this. He could have. He didn't. He took a peaceful approach. Now, in fairness, a lot of black Africans will turn around and say, he certainly didn't produce the promised land that they were expecting and where it would be harmonious. They were left out when he was kissing up to the white people, trying to get the white people on side. So you have to acknowledge that. But he tried to bring harmony. But what seems to be happening here is MPs in Labour, some of them, it's not just Dawn Butler. David Lammy can say some very pointed things as well, but he's not as bad as Hay in what he says. But it's causing division. It's not trying to get, and you think, why is she there? Is she wanting to stir up hatred?
So, but they are wanting to stir up hatred. That's where the media's got a lot of responsibility to play when they're allowing people to come on their talk shows and talk the way they do, to go unchallenged, or even with the presenter, like half agreeing with this person being totally racist and Anglophobic and totally anti-British and anti-white, and it disgusts me, because then you see other people of colour coming on who are like who really do break down the barriers of race and stuff and that, you know, who don't hate Britain, who don't hate white people and stuff and that. And them are like the unsung heroes who hardly get any attention, you know, who help mend things like that and make racism a thing of the past. Whereas these other ones, they just fuel it. They're race baiters that earn money out of it. They earn a lot of money and attention.
It is sort of very, it's odd what's going on at the moment. But another one, let's talk about another one. Do you know Sammy Woodhouse?
No, I might.
She was the one, Just a Child, you know, wrote the book Just a Child. Rotherham. She was groomed in Rotherham.
Yeah.
And Sammy Woodhouse, she was the one that sort of was the first one to speak out about the grooming gangs and go public about her experiences. Now, I remember Sammy Woodhouse, I had to run in with her age very early on when she was still, you know, the latest news. But I said at the time, she was getting on my nerves in her post and all this. And I remember saw her one day with a white dress on, expensive looking white dress, and she's standing there all smiling. She's like, I'm on Newsnight tonight. Press the record button and all this. And I thought, doesn't she get it? She's talking about a serious subject like grooming gangs, and yet she's acting like she's some kind of celebrity, some starlet. Press the record buttons with a new expensive white dress on. So I said to her, I couldn't help myself. I said, look, Sammy, I said, if you want to be a celebrity, love, get a talent or get a dancing dog. One or the other. I said, don't go using grooming to try and be a star, because it's not going to happen for you. Anyway, she blocked me straight away for saying that. But I always said she's just after what she can get the attention on herself. Oh, she was in Parliament with the very people who were helping to cover up these grooming gangs and doing nothing about them. They were kissing up to her in Newsnight, and I'd warned her. I said, be careful. They'll use you for PR to make out that they're taking it seriously when they're not. And that's exactly what she did. She let them use her. Well, of course, like everything else, she became yesterday's news. Suddenly, it was like, oh, who cares about her? She was going into schools, talking about grooming gangs in schools and all this business. Now, I don't know if she's got that now, but she basically, the media got fed up with her and moved on. And MPs did and all that. Now, strange enough, she was on Newsnight when she was still a relevant voice to be heard, and she was slating Tommy Robinson. And she's saying Tommy Robinson never exposed any grooming gangs. Which is true, he didn't. I
remember watching that. Yes, I know what you're talking about now.
I remember that. Now, she's right, he didn't. Guess where and what Sammy Woodhouse is doing now?
What?
She's working for Tommy Robinson.
Aye.
Why? Well, because, as I said, who's all the attention on at the moment? Tommy Robinson. And she craves attention. So she goes with Tommy Robinson. She's hoping she'll get all the... She's walking around with the little microphone. I'm going to be making a video about it because really she disgusts me. She does.
Mm.
She's always been at a media bunny. She's always been going after the media. And I thought, this is the one that slated Tommy Robinson. Now, suddenly, because he's got all the media attention, she's, you know, up his ass as quick as I fed it down her episode, you know, that way. But I just
well,
thought
Tommy he is quite forgiving. So I can understand why how she could still should be working with him like. But I remember I remember watching that video not long ago. To tell you the truth, like you're on about, like
yeah, I tell you, she was slating him, yeah, because she saw him as taking the. I tell you, I can read it like that book she wrote.
It was like they was making a slur on Newsnight. Was it Newsnight?
Yeah, it was Newsnight.
To say that he was doing it to further his agenda.
Because she knows her own bleeding way is best, and this is it. And I'm not saying this because I'm any fan of Tommy Robinson's. I'm not. I don't hate him like other people can tend to hate him, but I don't think he's this huge hero that people make out either. But I do agree he's being treated in the wrong way. Definitely being treated in the wrong way. But I think Sammy Woodhouse wakes Scoop now. Could be wrong. She might do, but she's doing all this for she's doing all this. Tommy Robinson's he's near out, me loves, and all this business. But
well, you see, but with Tommy's reading her, Hope Not Hate would have got out of her and got it up on there.
Say that again.
I bet you Hope Not Hate was somewhere involved in getting her involved with Newsnight and stuff like that.
Oh, most probably.
Go up and say stuff like that about Tommy.
But it's even the book. Let's put it this way, Tommy. Let's put it this way, Cookie. Right? You know the book she released, Just a Child. If you look at it, the picture on the front is even a lie. That's not her on the front. It's a very young girl, very, very young girl. She wasn't it looks like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old girl. She wasn't an 8-year-old. She was a teenager, and she was a very streetwise. Now, I'm not saying what happened to her wasn't wrong. It was wrong. But what she wanted ultimately was she wanted this Sammy's Law. Of course, it would be named after her, #Sammy's Law, where that if anyone was had been groomed or whatever, that any crimes they committed, even though she said in a book she enjoyed doing the crimes, that they should be wiped, the slate should be wiped clean. In other words, it should be just made to disappear that they did those crimes. That never happened, but that's what she was going for. But I just think she's so two-faced. And, the way she's carrying on, I thought, oh, here we are, you with Tommy now. I thought I'd mention that one.
What do you think of what's happening with Tommy? With the jail and what's been happening with the governor and putting him in a different jail and stuff and all that?
I don't know. You say, see, the thing is, when you're talking about it, what he did. Now, I've seen the documentary he did, which got him in trouble, which is fascinating. It is a fascinating documentary. But he was warned not to talk about it. So he's literally handed himself over. That's what's happened. He was told not to do it. He did it. And if I would have been him, I would have just stayed outside the country. But he knew. But the interesting thing is now, I don't know if you heard this. He raised loads of money. Someone tell me if I'm wrong in this, all right. He raised loads of money, saying that he was going to challenge the legal system and all that, challenge all this business when he got back to England. But he immediately admitted, he immediately pleaded guilty. So if he knew he was going to plead guilty, why did he need to raise money to appeal or launch a case?
Because I think he's got another case coming up, hasn't he?
Oh, has he?
There's a second case, so one where he's getting charged with under the Terrorism Act or something for not giving the PIN over, refusing to cooperate.
Oh, I don't know. It might be because I heard something like that. People saying that he'd raised loads of money and then he missed. So most probably is that. But anyway, Cookie, what I'm going to start winding up now because we've had a nice hour, which I think is a nice.
Took me a while to get on, and I think it'd be easier next time if I just click on the chat, then I'm on bang on time straight away.
Yeah. And do you know what he wants to do as well? Do you know what he wants to do, darlings? Doesn't he, darlings? You know what he wants to do? Get bleeding. Start trying to get on 5 minutes earlier. Nice.
I will.
Yeah, not last minute. Not last minute, laddie. Last
well,
minute,
I was
laddie.
trying to get on. I started trying to get on at quarter past 7.
Quarter past.
Quarter past 7. I've been trying to get on, man.
I'll do a. Do you know what? It's that Kelsey. This Kelsey one keeps on saying to me, "Tell him off, tell him off." She keeps on saying, and I say to her, "No, I say." It's not Cookie's fault. It's also not Cookie's fault. But you know what Kelsey's like? Oh, she goes mad if anyone's like.
Well, normally I can just airdrop the link straight into my computer, and then I can just click on it and come straight up, and I've got everything sorted. But for I say, for some reason, it won't let us even use. It won't let us use my phone to use StreamYard.
I know. I think it's Google messing it up again. It'll say it's not StreamYard. It's Google doing it. But anyway, any last words of wisdom? Putting you on the spot. Last words of wisdom to people out there who are hanging on your philosophy of life.
My philosophy of life. Yeah. It's all a state of mind, isn't it?
Well, that's bleeding helpful, isn't it? It's what state of mind is it? Come on, what state of mind?
No, well, that's what I'm saying. You've got to have it with positive state of mind. Other things can affect your state, but your state of mind, you can't allow it to affect you. You can't let you.
As the Buddha said, and I'll put in my words: don't take life too seriously because it's not worth it. It'll be over soon enough, and then you won't have to worry about it at all. So just get on with it. Go with the flow. As the Buddha said, you can't step in the same river twice. Isn't that interesting?
Good or bad.
Yeah, that's it too. That's what you do. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me, Cookie.
You're welcome, man.
We'll be on again. I say in the what day are we at now? We're Sunday, aren't we? So we'll be on next week again, and I'm trying to get Danny Christie on, but he hasn't noticed my message yet because, of course, he's sore with me. He thought I was giving eyes to the sheriff. I wasn't. But anyway, and to everyone in the chat, thank you for joining me. Thank you, Crafty Cow, Deadly Kid, Jane, Northern Horse, everyone. Time to Believe, everyone that's in the chat, Cumbrian Truth, the Law, everyone there. So, and Maria. So, God bless, Cookie, and good night. And I'll leave you all with this. And thank you to Kelsey as well. So I'll leave it all with this.
Terry Tackle's asking me for a Sarah's Law and a Claire's Law. That's just taking the piss out of two people that died. So I'll do an acro with Terry Tackle. Terry Tackle's asking me for a Sarah's Law and a Claire's Law. That's just taking the piss out of two people that died. So I'll do